He almost for me was an expectant mother.
Hey Devi, Ati Mahimayute Shri Shambhavi Sada Rautra Vadana Yuta Murte Sri Guru Mam Tava Nisima Karuna Katakshe.
If you transform mud into food, we call this agriculture. If you make food into flesh and bone, we call this digestion, integration. If you can make this flesh, or even a stone, or even an empty space, into a divine possibility, that is called consecration. If you want to know this dimension, you need devotion in your heart. One who earns the grace of Bhairavi neither have to live in concern or fear of life or death, of poverty or failure. All that human being considers as well-being will be his if only he earns the grace of Bhairavi.
I didn't even know the meaning of what consecration was.
We saw Sadhguru in a different dimension altogether.
Really understood what it is to be with Sadhguru.
It's something beyond my intelligence.
I'm very lucky to be a part of it.
He almost for me was an expectant mother.
I never experienced my life like this.
When a person is able to walk out of this body, just like you drop your clothes, if you can drop your body and go without injuring it, then that's the ultimate way of living. It's not easy to leave the body, you know, it's not easy to live, it's not easy to die also. You have to do something to the body, but without doing anything to the body, you just walk out of the body. This is the ultimate way of living, leaving, sorry. So we did not damage the body for that intention, it happened because we put the body through that kind of process. We tried to play many roles at the same time. Those 3.5 years, the consecration of the dhyanalinga, people who witnessed those situations Only those who witness will believe it, otherwise nobody can believe what happened there. It is too fairy tale-ish for anybody to believe those stories. But situations happen in such ways that you wouldn't have imagined something like that can happen on the planet. Such weird situations. But it was all a reality for people who were there. Hundreds of people witnessed this.
One thing I want all of you to understand is, in many ways, this situation is not like any of the situations that you might have been in the sense, you are not going to witness the consecration, you are going to participate in the consecration process. So it's a different level of responsibility, it's a different level of focus, it's a different level of existence altogether. So now you're in a consecration process, not as a witness, but as a participant. There's a difference. There's a difference between going to the temple and building the temple. This is like building the temple, it's a different game. As a part of preparing you for the situation and above all sensitizing the space, we will be doing a certain chant. I want all of you to give yourself totally into this. This is about sensitizing the space, which includes you. For whatever we're going to do next, the space has to be vibrant enough and you have to be vibrant enough.
त्रिदण्डं त्रिगुणाकारं त्रिनेत्रं क्षत्रियायुधं त्रिजन्मपापसंहारम् एकबिल्वं शिवार्पणम् त्रिदण्डं त्रिगुणाकारं त्रिनेत्रं क्षत्रियायुधं त्रिजन्मपापसंहारम् एकबिल्वं शिवार्पणम् त्रिदलं त्रिगुणाकारं त्रिनेत्रं क्षत्रियायुधं त्रिजन्मपापसंहारम् एकबिल्वं शिवार्पणम्.
This sense of no human being should live in an unconsecrated space is something which is deep-rooted in this culture, because it is just like if you plant something into this earth, only if the roots are sticking into a rich earth will the flower and the fruit come out. If the earth into which these roots are sticking in is not rich enough, is not enhanced enough to sustain life, flower and fruit will not come. Even if it comes, it will be too meager. It will never be a full-blown flowering, it'll never be a full-blown fruiting of the plant. So always these aspects, we gave enormous importance to these aspects of life. It's not just about what you eat, it's not just about what kind of work you do, what kind of space you live in. This is very important in the East. So, people always consecrated their homes in whichever way they know best and only then moved in. If the kings were sensible and benevolent, they consecrated the whole town. There's created any number of places in the town so that the whole town is consecrated. He wants everybody to live in consecrated spaces. If you walk on the street, if you do business, if you live in that town, everyone must constantly live in consecrated space, because if you want to produce generations of enhanced human beings, you need this kind of space. Otherwise, only by accident or by personal dint, somebody may become something. You won't produce a generation of beautiful people. This culture produced a galaxy of knowledge, a galaxy of enlightened beings. Every generation produced this simply because they took care of any number of aspects like this. Nowhere else on this planet have single generations of people risen to such glorious heights of knowing as this culture has known. But all that got fractured in the last few hundred years. In the last 800 to 900 years, this got badly fractured because of invasions and displacement of people and so many things. You can produce very great intellects, very great energy, as human beings I'm saying, individual human beings carrying phenomenal sense of energy and intellect and capability. If you create large spaces of consecrated space, large consecrated spaces where the whole generation of people are in touch with that kind of energy and space. This fortune almost every family had, because before they moved into homes, they did this. Periodically they did something to enhance the house. This is part of almost every house. Every household at least once a year conducted the needed rituals and processes to see that the space in the house is enhanced. A basic understanding, or rather an essential understanding of how to generate a conducive atmosphere for a human being to grow to his full potential. This adiyogi statue is in the process of getting ready. The idea is not to build adiyogi fan club. The idea is to bring back spiritual process as a science, not as a philosophy, not as a belief system, not as a religion, but as a science. As there is a science and technology for external well-being, there is a science and technology for inner well-being. Did Adiyogi look like that? That's not the point. He is an inspiration for you to turn inward, that's all the point. 112 because he offered 112 ways in which a human being can attain to his ultimate way. 112 ways, 112 chakras which manifest in the physical body. To make subjective sciences part of everybody's life, that yoga is not an instruction, it is something that you live with. This has to become part of the world, because in search of human well-being, we've done all kinds of insane things on this planet. But human well-being is one thing that's not happened, everything else has happened. Because if well-being is what you seek, in is the only way out, there is no other way.